pressure of playing in front of a home crowd.
She couldn't not win. Not with the Italian president himself watching her every move from the stands. Breaking a 4-decade-long record had not been expected of her. After all, she isn't considered to be among the best of the best, yet. Still, defying all odds, Jasmine Paolini did what can only be considered impossible for decades. It definitely came as a pleasant surprise to many, except perhaps to her opponent and critics. Frankly, nobody expected her to do this, but because she did, expectations are high, and the pressure to deliver is even higher. Some would argue that Paolini could definitely live up to the expectations. Over the past several months, Jasmine Paolini has been a joyful jolt of unexpected energy to the world of tennis. She has been a Cinderella story on the clay at Roland Garros, and she provided an even more surprising sequel the next month at Wimbledon. She led Italy to the Billie Jean King Cup title for the first time in a decade, and teamed with Sara Errani to win doubles gold at the Paris Olympics. She lit up arenas with her ever-present smile and hard-charging, power-packed, all-court game. What she hadn't been was a singles champion. For all of her breakthroughs over the past year, Paolini hadn't won a title since Dubai in February 2024. At 29, after more than a decade on tour, she had only won 2 tournaments in her career. Paolini, a 5'2" late bloomer, seemed like she might be destined to be the lovable runner-up, an overachiever who couldn't quite break through the WTA's highest ceilings. Some of you may not be aware of this tidbit, but Jasmine began playing tennis at the age of 5 and also enjoyed swimming. At the time, she first picked up a racket at the urging of her parents. I remember that my father and my mother told me, "You have to choose one sport to do," Jasmine shared in an interview. In Bagni di Lucca, there was all tennis or a swimming pool, and because of my uncle who was playing tennis, I decided to go to play. Jasmine said she's enjoyed the sport a lot since she started it, and has built up a family at her local tennis club. Needless to say, Jasmine's tennis family is strong and full of Italians. Long story short, since she first picked up a racket at age 5, Paolini continued to improve and has shown marked progress later in her career. The 2024 season saw her win the biggest title of her career at WTA 1000 Dubai, and also reach her first Grand Slam finals, finishing runner-up at Roland Garros and Wimbledon. She also qualified for her first WTA finals in singles and doubles, broke into the top 10 for the first time in her career, and finished the season as the world number 4. The year before that was just as notable as she broke into the top 30 for the first time, achieving number 29th in October 2023 after becoming runner-up at Monastir. She also achieved runner-up at Palermo and semi-finalist at Zhengzhou, as well as quarterfinalist at Lyon and Cincinnati as a qualifier. In the same year, the Italian tennis player enjoyed 2 top 10 wins. This year is pretty much a big deal for Jasmine, though. After months and months of ending up as a runner-up, Paolini played her best match on a big stage, and her home stage, and became the first native winner of the Italian Open since 1985. Yes, she did that. What no athlete had been able to accomplish for 4 decades, Jasmine did almost effortlessly.
Wow. Clipped the line, did she?
Hometown glory for Jasmine Paolini.
Yes, that happened. Jasmine Paolini became the first home winner of the Italian Open for 40 years, with a dominant victory over Coco Gauff.
40 years the Italian public have waited for a champion. And what a champion!
The 29-year-old delighted the fans with a record-breaking win. Jasmine basically produced a scintillating display as she blew away Coco Gauff in straight sets to end a 40-year wait for a home winner of the women's singles at the Italian Open. Roared on by a partisan crowd at the Foro Italico in Rome, including Italian President Sergio Mattarella, Paolini triumphed 6-4, 6-2 against Gaff of the United States. Paolini, who was a surprise finalist at the French Open and Wimbledon last year, wrapped up victory on the clay in 1 hour and 29 minutes. That's not the highlight though, as the 29-year-old was the first Italian woman to win the tournament since Raffaella Reggi in 1985, and only the 4th overall since its inception in 1930. It doesn't seem real. It's incredible to have the trophy in my hands. I'm so emotional, Paolini said. I came here as a kid to watch this tournament, so to lift the trophy is beyond what I ever dreamed of. Neither player was able to hold serve in the opening 3 games before Paolini's nerves eventually settled as she took a 3-1 lead. That was the point at which Paolini upped the ante as she closed out the set in emphatic fashion. Paolini raced into a 3-0 lead in the second set with 2 early breaks before Gaff claimed a breakback and then managed to hold her serve. However, Gaff was unable to wrestle momentum back her way as Paolini swaggered through the remainder of the set. Gaff saved 1 match point, but at 40-30, Paolini sealed victory with a powerful serve down the middle. When asked about her experience, she answered confidently, to no one's surprise.
I was trying, to focus on the match and trying to repeat to myself, no matter what, you have to stay there every ball.
Of course, it was completely natural that her brilliant smile appeared as she spoke.
Yeah, it was great, a great final. I'm really happy about the win in front of, the home crowd and my family, my team, and the president.
For her, winning the game is like a full circle moment, as she only used to dream about it.
It's really a dream, and I was coming to watch this tournament when I was a kid, and now holding the trophy,
She danced, she blew kisses, she dashed around the court and high-fived her team. She took a big sip of champagne, and she thanked the country's president for showing up. She smiled as the crowd sang along to "We Are the Champions." She let out all of the jubilation that she had to keep bottled up after her defeats at Roland Garros and Wimbledon last year. It's something special to win here in Rome, Paolini shared with joy. I was coming to watch this tournament with my father, and now my father was there. I don't know if he was crying. I'm really happy about the win in front of my home crowd and in front of my family and my team, the president, so it's amazing. Destiny seemed to be on Paolini's side even before the match began. She had come into the final after playing a flawless second set in her semifinal, while her opponent, Coco Gauff, barely survived a 3.5-hour war with Zheng Qinwen, in which she committed 82 unforced errors. It didn't take long for Paolini's momentum to grow. In the opening game, with a sense of tingling anticipation already running through the audience, Gauff double faulted and was broken. While Gauff would break back right away, her A-game never arrived, as she made 55 unforced errors over 2 sets. Even her normally reliable backhand was off. On the other side of the court, Paolini was much cleaner, and after a couple of nervous early hiccups, she again soared with the crowd as the match progressed. She showed off her forehand versatility by changing directions with it and rifling it past one of the WTA's fastest players. She showed her attacking instincts by knocking off fearless swing volleys. And she didn't show any nerves down the stretch, despite the history looming over the day. She grabbed the moment and ran with it. At the beginning, I was feeling I have to say great, said Paolini, who hit 12 winners and made 20 errors. I was trying because I knew that with Coco, I had to raise the level a little bit from the last matches, and it worked. She concluded, "It was the best match I played here." Will this athlete be as dominant as Paolini was? See for yourself.